Have you ever been planning a trip, scrolling through options and just wondered, will this place really get me, my needs, my values? Will I feel properly welcome?
It's a common feeling, definitely. Finding that perfect fit can be tricky.
Exactly. It's more than just finding a hotel room, right?
Yeah.
Well, what if there was like a guide, a shortcut to understanding how destinations are really stepping up, becoming more inclusive for this huge, growing group of travelers?
Ah, you must be talking about the GMTI.
You got it. Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we're doing a deep dive into the 10th edition of the Mastercard-CrescentRating Global Muslim Travel Index, the GMTI 2025 report. It just dropped June 12th, 2025, at the Halal in Travel Global Summit in Singapore.
A really significant report, especially this year being the 10th edition.
Definitely. So our mission today is simple. Pull out the key insights, the big trends shaping global travel, especially for Muslim travelers. By the end, you'll have the inside track on this vital market and how destinations are adapting. If you want to stay informed on travel shifts, this is for you.
And it's amazing to see how the GMTI itself has evolved. This is the 10th edition, but it marks 11 years of Mastercard and CrescentRating working together.
11 years, wow.
Yeah, and think about this. It started way back, ranking just 10 destinations in 2011. Now, it covers 153.
153.
That's incredible growth.
It is. And it's moved way beyond just being a list. It's having real impact.
Okay, real impact. Tell me more. How does an index actually, spark change on the ground?
Well, it's become a catalyst, truly. The report shows how it's influenced actual tourism policies. We're talking both OIC Organization of Islamic Cooperation Nations and non-OIC nations.
So governments are actually listening.
Absolutely. Tourism boards are shifting strategies, investing differently based on these findings. Everything from halal food availability, prayer spaces in airports, public areas. It's shaping infrastructure. It's being discussed in government meetings, even used in universities. It's really woven into how tourism develops now. So it's not just collecting dust on a shelf, it's an active tool. That really makes sense, seeing its journey from, as the report says, hopeful beginnings to navigating things like the pandemic.
Exactly. Resilience is key.
Speaking of resilience, let's get into the market itself. The numbers are, well, they're pretty staggering.
They really are. For 2024, the estimate was 176 million international Muslim visitors.
176 million.
And get this, that's up 25% from 2023. And incredibly, it's 10% higher than before the pandemic, back in 2019.
Wait, 10% over pre-pandemic levels already?
It's not just recovery, it's accelerated growth, a really strong signal.
That's phenomenal, and it doesn't stop there, does it? What are the projections?
Nope, the momentum's continuing. They project 245 million arrivals by 2030.
245 million.
With spending estimated around USD 235 billion. But it's not just more travelers. The travelers themselves are changing.
Okay, a changing traveler. What does that look like? The report mentions more independent, more conscious journeys.
Yeah, exactly. We're seeing, for instance, a noticeable rise in solo travelers and female travelers too, especially among millennials and Gen Z. They're looking for empowerment, safety, autonomy.
That's interesting, especially for a market maybe traditionally seen as more family-focused. What's driving that shift, do you think?
Well, empowerment is huge, yes. But also, globally, there's this trend towards more personal independence. And these younger travelers, they're digital natives. They use online tools, communities, to plan solo trips confidently.
Makes sense.
And they want more purpose in their travel. Things like regenerative tourism, leaving a place better off. Or digital detox retreats. Even sports tourism, but adapted for faith needs. It's deeper than just sightseeing.
Right. It's about the why and the how, not just the where. That's a big shift. And this connects to another point in the report, this new competitive landscape. Non-OIC destinations are really climbing the ranks.
That's a standout trend, definitely. Places like Singapore, the UK, Hong Kong, Taiwan, the Philippines, they're strategically boosting their appeal.
What are they doing that's challenging the sort of traditional advantages of OIC nations?
They're investing smartly. Infrastructure, service excellence, training staff on cultural sensitivities, getting restaurants halal certified, ensuring prayer facilities are available and easy to find.
So really focusing on the practical needs.
Exactly. And this links to another finding. Travelers increasingly want assurance. Those Muslim-friendly ratings, halal certifications for hotels, restaurants, they provide peace of mind, trust.
Got it. So it proves it's not just about having a large local Muslim population. It's about deliberate effort and investment.
Precisely. Any destination can succeed with the right commitment.
Which leads us nicely into inclusivity, a really major theme this year. The GMTI seems to be digging deeper, looking beyond the obvious groups.
Yes, and this is so important. They're really highlighting neurodivergent travelers. That's, potentially 10–20% of the global population.
Yeah.
People with autism, ADHD, dyslexia.
A huge segment, often overlooked in travel design. What are their specific challenges?
Unfamiliar places can be tough. Sensory overload, anxiety from unpredictable situations. Things many people take for granted can be major barriers.
I can only imagine. What kind of needs does the report suggest focusing on?
Things like quiet rooms in busy places like airports or malls. Staff trained to understand sensory sensitivities. Clear visual aids, not just verbal directions. It's about reducing that potential overload.
Makes perfect sense. And often, designing for specific needs ends up making things better for everyone, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And they also spotlight active senior travelers, another growing high-value segment. Apparently, they made up about a third of travelers in 2024.
A third? Wow, what are they looking for?
They tend to prefer slightly shorter trips, maybe 4–6 days,
Yeah.
often travel with family or friends. They enjoy shopping, food experiences, nature, but comfort is key.
So accessibility is crucial.
Very much so. Things like elevators, plenty of places to sit down, clear signage, physical comfort and ease of navigation are paramount.
It's about making travel genuinely accessible and enjoyable, regardless of age or ability. How is the GMTI trying to push this forward?
They're expanding their accessible travel framework, the ATF, to really champion these needs.
Right.
And they've introduced new sub-indexes, too.
Yeah.
One for Muslim women-friendly destinations and another for Muslim-friendly accessible destinations.
So more specific metrics, more focus.
Exactly. It's a move towards a much more nuanced understanding of travelers.
Okay, let's talk about the frameworks behind all this. There's ACS access, communications, environment services. That's been the foundation, right?
Right, the foundational DNA, as they call it, since 2017. It's the global standard for assessing Muslim friendliness, and they keep refining it.
What's new this year?
They've added metrics like internet penetration, crucial nowadays, basic sanitation levels, and even things like power losses. It ensures the fundamentals are covered, not just the faith-specific stuff.
Practicalities matter. And then there's RIDA, responsible, immersive, digital, assured. This is framed as the new paradigm. What does that mean?
Reader is really about the future direction. It links Muslim travel goals with broader global concerns, like the UN Sustainable Development Goals. It pushes destinations beyond just being accommodating to being actively responsible, offering truly immersive local experiences, using digital tools effectively, and providing that rock-solid assurance.
And they have a new way to measure this, the RIDA Impact Score, RIS.
Yes, the RIS is key. It lets us actually measure how well destinations are putting these RIDA principles into practice. Are their hotels eco-certified? How good are their digital tools for finding halal options or prayer times? Are they committed to ethical tourism?
So it moves beyond just counting visitor numbers.
Precisely. It measures the quality and impact of tourism, not just the quantity, a really vital shift.
But the future isn't without challenges. The report mentions significant disruptions ahead, towards 2030.
Indeed. Geopolitics is a big one. Trade shifts, supply chain issues can really impact travel costs and flows. Then there's AI and robotics. Huge potential for personalizing travel, but also concerns about job displacement in the service sector.
Yeah. A double-edged sword.
And critically, the report acknowledges what it calls a rising tide of negative sentiments, specifically anti-Muslim rhetoric. That's a real barrier.
A sobering point. How can destinations navigate these choppy waters?
The report frames these as opportunities, too. Destinations that proactively invest in inclusion, promote real intercultural understanding, and have strong anti-discrimination policies. They'll be better positioned.
It's about building genuine trust and welcome.
Exactly, going beyond the surface level.
So, with all that in mind, who is leading the pack? Let's touch on the GMTI 2025 rankings.
Okay. Among OIC destinations, Malaysia holds on to the top spot again, score of 79. They've been consistently strong.
Right.
Then we have a tie for second place at 78. Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE. Saudi Arabia obviously leveraging its religious tourism. Turkey, its amazing cultural heritage.
And the non-OIC success stories.
Singapore remains the leader there, score of 71. The UK is next at 63, and Hong Kong made a big jump 10 points up to 62.
That Hong Kong jump is impressive. What does this non-OIC success tell us overall?
It really underlines that point. Success isn't just about demographics. Eastern Asia, North America, Oceania, places without large Muslim populations are scoring highly. Why? Because they're making strategic investments. They're proactively catering to diverse needs.
So it's a model for inclusive tourism generally, not just for this one market segment.
Absolutely. It's a blueprint, really.
Yeah.
If you understand and cater well to specific needs, you create better experiences for everyone.
And that really brings us to the end of this deep dive. We've unpacked the GMTI 2025 report, hopefully giving you a clearer view of this dynamic market, the strategies working, and that crucial deepening focus on inclusivity.
It's a powerful reminder of how understanding diverse needs can genuinely reshape the travel landscape.
So what does this all mean for you listening? Maybe it gives you a new way to think about planning your own trips, looking for that genuine welcome. Or maybe just a deeper appreciation for the thoughtful work going into making travel better. And here's something to ponder. How could understanding the specific needs of, say, neurodivergent or senior travelers change how any travel experience, even just a local day out, is designed? Could it make things more comfortable for all of us?
That's a great question.
Or think about AI. The report mentioned it as both disruptor and enabler. How could AI be used creatively beyond just personalization to make travel even more inclusive? Maybe breaking down communication barriers or simplifying complex logistics.
Lots to think about there.
Definitely. We encourage you to keep exploring these ideas, keep learning, and keep asking those deep questions about the future of travel.